دول بعد شوي صح؟ كمل الإسبوعية و
we have the vice rector, he is responsible for all international projects. Whenever we have an international project, it is sent to an entity. For example, this project is sent to us as the Human Integral and Student Affairs Office. We have other projects that are sent with researchers or instructors. So this is why there is different people in charge of different projects. But the main person is the vice rector.
But for us, for the metric, we need to have your name and say you are responsible for this university, not your vice rector.
Okay. When the project is already running, okay, you have so the contact person, the project manager, so you can go to the vice rector when something is complicated, you have to have some approval and so on. But no, in the normal everyday, you want the project, no?
Oh yes, we need one project manager for this project.
Yes, we are also going to president and then they think that are not local, so whatever,
And also you have to have someone who was talking about the project office to have the evidences of all the projects that are in the institution. Because even if I'm dealing with the different departments, there are some connections, okay, that could be finding the synergy of the projects. For example, now some of you knows that, for example, we are combining the student boot camp with what Alex was talking about, the key action 107, okay? The mobility. So we can find the synergy between the projects. Delia.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you everybody for...
Okay, better now? Oh, okay.
So thank you everybody for being here. It's a real pleasure to meet you all in person. I'm here representing UCAM, the Universidad Católica de Murcia from Spain. As you probably know, the main person responsible for the project is Maria Amalia de Oliva, but unfortunately she couldn't be here. So I'm here to give you how UCAM decided to set the International Project Office. And I also want to thank Alex for his presentation, because I think it was very comprehensive and it gave us the idea of how to carry out European projects from a technical point of view. What I will try to do today is just to show you how we decided to do that at UCAM, so how we decided to, let's say, shape our office. Please feel free to interrupt at any time, or if you have any question also after the meeting, you can just contact us or email the office at any time. All right. So the topic of the intervention today, as you know, is the internationalization of higher education, and this is the content. I think something is going on because I can hear
المصاحف ومن السرور كعلامة من علامات الساعة. سورة الكوثر سورة مكية رقمها بترتيب الصور 108. هذه الصورة صورة عجيبة فيها إعجاز عددي عجيب وغريب. فهذه الصورة عدد كلماتها 10 كلمات. عدد الكلمات بتاعتها لما تعدها 10 كلمات. انت اعطيناك الكوكب فصلت كونك وقع.
Forse dobbiamo uscire un attimo. Ah, ok. Facciamo così. L'unica cosa non so se adesso dobbiamo semplicemente fare così, funziona? Ok. Okay, sorry for that. All right. So the content of my intervention today will be like giving you a very brief presentation of UCAM, but I think that you already know the university. And then the presentation of our office in the terms of who we are, what we do, why we decided to do that, and how we are doing that. And finally, I will just give you a couple of examples of good practices of how to manage some aspects of a European project. Okay, so welcome to UCAM Bubble. UCAM, the Universidad Católica de Murcia, is actually a, let's say, quite young university in the sense that it was founded in 1996. So I will take the freedom to say that in less of 30 years, we managed to reach a quite good level of students involved in our programs, and also a quite good number of programs we are offering. We have more than 21,000 students attending our programs, and also we have two different types of programs, like face-to-face and online. When I say that, I mean like a full face-to-face program and full online programs. As a face-to-face program, we have 32 degrees, 87 masters, and 5 programs for a PhD. And as online university, we have 7 degrees, 45 masters, 4 simultaneous studies, which is to say, like, for example, law and business management studied at the same time. And then 2 vocational and educational training. Then UCAM is also well known in Europe and also at international level as a sport university. As a matter of fact, we have 17 qualification, which is to say 17 degrees in specialized on sport. And then 15 VIT, which is aimed to give students a more professional and specialized education. So this is more or less UCAM in general. And then let's see who is running the International Project Office. As Alice said before, there are like 2 ways to manage international projects. You can decide to set just one office which is in charge of international relations and project management, or divide them. And this is what we did at UCAM. So we decided to set a specific office just for international projects. This is just for you to know, this is our team. It's a kind of small team because we are just 5 people. The director is Pablo Cano, who has a PhD in communication. Then we have the head of unit, who is David Heiser, and he has an international MBA. The project manager for Erasmus Plus and research and development projects like Horizon 2020, for example, is Jose Garcia de Real. He has a PhD in engineering, And then there is the communication officer, who is Francisco Ruiz, and he is in charge of the communication part of the project. Lastly, there is myself. I am the project officer, so my tasks are kind of transversal to the work of my colleagues in the sense that I am supporting all of them in their task. So I'm the kind of jolly of the office, and more or less this is how we divided the task. But there are a couple of things I would like to remark. First thing is the importance of having a professor as a director of the office. Why I'm saying that? Because our projects involve professors and researchers. Okay, so the thing that our director is one of them give us the idea of what professors need, how they can work on projects, how they can combine their academic work and the project work. So this is very important because give us another perspective, like let's say the people we are working with perspective. That is very, very useful. Then it's also very important that all the people working in the office speak at least 2 languages, 2 foreign languages, as you can see, because as you know, we are working with international consortium partnerships, and this let us to communicate with all the partners. And it's also important or useful in a way that we all have different backgrounds, because this gives us different points of view and perspectives when it comes to deal with issues or difficulties coming up from any project. All right, so the idea of create a specialized office inside UCAM was born, let's say, in 2015. This is when UCAM decided to create a parallel office to the International Relation Office. So we have both offices in charge of different projects. And here I wanted to give you a general overview of the work we have been carrying out during this time, showing you more or less the figures of submitted projects and approved ones. And regarding this, I think it will be useful for you to know that when you apply, when you run for a proposal, there are different factors to take into account. Well, first of all, the type of call you are applying for, because if it's Erasmus Plus, for example, it's kind of easier to submit and maybe also to get approved. Differently from Horizon 2020. Then there are also external factors like the very recent pandemic, which can slow down or even stop any submission or evaluation process. And as you can see, in 2021, we could submit just 38 projects. And then another factor that is relevant is if you are applying using a brand new idea, a brand new project, or a recycled one, let's say. Because if you already applied for a call with the project idea and it was not approved, you can try like the following for the following call, and like you just need to edit the draft, maybe, I don't know, the partnership or the work packages, the budget, whatever, and of course it's faster and easier. It lets you submit more projects. So this is more or less the same idea, just in a graphic way. And then there are some points which can be also good to know, like for a university, which are the most popular project areas, like the most demanded. If we talk about Erasmus Plus, of course, education and also informatics is very popular. Often both of them combined, like for example, is very popular nowadays working on distance learning tools. If we talk about research projects like Horizon 2020, for example, earth science, information communication technology or business. And of course, since UCAM is a sport university for us, also sport calls are kind of interesting. As I said before, the success rate can change according to the call you are applying to. If it's Erasmus, there is like 15–20% of success rate. If it's Horizon 2020, around 5–10%. So since it's a more difficult one, of course, the rate is minor. And then the type of calls you can be interested in. In case of UCAM, since we are not a specialized university, like we are not a polytechnic, we are not a business school, so we are interested in all type of calls. The only thing that we take into account is the availability of the people who are going to be involved in the project, so the availability of researchers and professors, if they want to, for example, focus on teaching tools, good practices, mobilities, and also if it's their first project, if they have any language barrier. So these are all aspects you should take into account in order to choose the right call. So in total, we managed so far 150 projects for a total of 2.4 million euros. We have 36 projects going on. And now we get to the why we decided to do that, which are the benefits for the university, which are the benefits for the professors. Taking part into European projects lead to the internationalization of the faculty staff. And this is a benefit for professors from different point of view, like for their research, for the network, for the career, the skills, and we can just show them specifically, like about the financing aspect, because a professor, of course, can get the chance of getting financed their project idea. So they will develop the idea, implement the idea, and also look for a strategy to get the funds. Then regarding the benefit for the career, of course, a professor or a researcher involved in a European project can have access to information about any other project or in general about research, technology, international events, and also all of these can lead to the internalization of the whole research area to which the professor belong and also to their working groups. They can also improve their skills thanks to courses, webinars. They can improve foreign languages and they can also develop soft skills which are highly demanded nowadays in the labor market. And okay, regarding the network, of course, as you know, participating in a European project can give a very high visibility to the professor themselves or the entire institution. Then the researchers and professors can meet their colleagues, can meet stakeholders, so they can build a wide network and also potential cooperation for future projects. All of these give value to also the professor's CVs, improving the quality of their work and the excellence of their research. They can also have access to the possibility of publication, and in case of UCAM and Spain specifically, the ANECA accreditation. ANECA is the national agency for the evaluation of the quality of the research. And then the global challenges, of course, participating to European project is a way to give contribution to face global challenges like the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and the Green Deal opportunities. Okay, so how UCAM is, how OPRI and UCAM are doing that? Firstly, I would like to remark that like managing European projects means an institutional effort. So it's not OPRI effort, it's not our office, but it's the entire university. As a matter of fact, the agreement is not signed by OPRI, is not signed by the professor, is signed by the president of the university, so the project is a university project. So European projects means a collaboration which involve the entire university and all the other departments. And then from specifically OPRI point of view, it means also support and control on the project from an administrative, managerial and financial point of view. I want to remark that when I refer to administrative support, it's different from technical support, because for the technical part, it's the professors or the researchers completely in charge of it. It's them running the technical part of the project. As the International Projects Office, we just provide the administrative support and the financial one. We will see how we are doing it. So, based on the different aspects of a European project, we can say that OPRI, the International Project Office, has different roles. It can act as a consulting, as a travel agency, as an event planning, communication agency, or even recruiting. How? In which sense? Okay, so firstly, as a consulting agency, let's say, we provide trainings, counseling, and strategy. Trainings, because we have the so-called OPRI coffee, like we have individual sessions with professors, training them on European projects. We explain to them all about European projects for the very beginning to the end of the projects. Why? Because it's not obvious that a professor knows how big can be getting involved into a European project, like what kind of work they are going to run and how to do that. So for us it's very useful that we explain to them everything from the very beginning so that they are aware of that and they decide if it's convenient for them to get involved or not. When I talk about training, the administrative part as well as the financial one. We also explain to them all the protocols we follow in our university. Then, as a counseling, we search for calls, we evaluate the project proposals, and we also revise the idea when it's necessary. We also advise professor about the possible networking and the possible consortium they can build. Since we have quite an experience, so we can also identify a potential partner which are good fit for the specific project idea. And then when it comes to apply for a call, we analyze all the research groups of UCAM, and we identify which one are the best one for the calls. This let us also to improve the existing one or create new ones. Then what do I mean when I say we act as a travel agency? Because as you know, when you are involved in a European project, sometimes it's necessary to travel to meet the partners or to run some activities jointly. So what we do, we assist the participants also on this aspect so that they don't need to think about anything. Well, this is what the International Project Office do. In which sense? We first search for most suitable flight connection, accommodation and transfer based on their necessities. So this means that we contact with the person who is going to travel, and we ask them which time it's better for you to travel. What kind of flight you prefer? Do you prefer direct one? Is it okay if it's a connected one? We also manage for example, the COVID requirements, the accommodation, and everything that is part of the travel. Then the travel insurance and also the cost of stay. The cost of stay in the sense that sometimes we give the participant an advance of money, or some other time we just manage the paperwork on the reimbursement. And in this case, it's very important to have a good relation with the other departments of the university, because it's it's not only a OPRI matter. I mean, the reimbursement one, the financial one, it's not only about OPRI, but it's the entire university which is managing the financial part. And then travel assistance, in which sense that if anything happen during their trip, we are available, let's say not 24/8, but I think 15 hours per day. Yes, also on Sundays we receive phone calls from the participants saying, for example, my flight was cancelled, what shall I do? And then we get in contact with the agency which booked the flight, and we try to fix the issue. So this is kind of nice for them, because they just feel free to focus on their work during the meetings, and they don't have to take care of these organizational aspects. Then event planning. Well, when there is an event, we cover the entire organizational part of the event. In 2021, for example, we managed 18 face-to-face events and 9 online for a total of 850 participants. And in managing an event, you should take into account two aspects, an internal one and an external one. External is people who are joining the event, so any issue that is concerning travel, accommodation or transfer, and a system, prepare welcome packs, for example, or schedule any cultural event. Then the internal aspect is booking, for example, the event room, setting up the room, providing technical assistance if needed, like, for example, all the assistance regarding the technical part, or the translation assistance if needed, beverage, food, preparing the agenda and the participant list. Then as a communication agency, we draft a dissemination and communication strategy, and we also advise partners on this topic. Currently, we are running 5 projects, social media platform, and 4 project websites. And this is like more or less the work about the communication. It's like writing press releases, posting, and improving the visibility of the project as much as we can. And then a European project can be also a way to, let's say, to improve the institution visibility for future students or future professors, future researchers. So it can also be useful to get people coming to your institution. Just a couple of good practices. For example, these are very recent one. Mediats is a capacity building on mediation. We had to organize 2 weeks of training involving 45 students from Eastern Europe and 26 UCAM professors. It was like a quite big effort. We also cooperate with companies, external companies and juridical services of the geographical area. Then we have LiveRUR and Smart Lagoon, which are 2 Horizon 2020 projects. Each of them got funds for around 4 billion euros. LiveRUR, we organized the final international conference with the regional congress and the European Commission. It was a widespread event since it was involved also national newspapers like La Verdad, El País, and also a regional one. And the last one, Smart Lagoon, was an event in Murcia with the Minister of Agriculture. We had to set the monitoring tool in Mar Menor, which is a seaside area close to Murcia. And it's part, these monitoring tools of the water was part of the project. And this was also like a quite big event we organized. Lastly, this is a project Selling for Physical Disabled People. It's a project that we recently finished. It was reported to the Commission a couple of months ago, and we had also a very good feedback from the Commission. It was the project was about enhancing social inclusion of people with physical disability thanks to sport, specifically to sailing. And what we did, this was one of the projects which was most affected by the pandemic stop. Indeed, we had just 2 transnational project meetings, so one in Turkey and the other one in Spain. Organizing these activities, we acted as a consulting in the sense that we explain, we show the professor what was the transnational project meeting, what they should have done, and so on, as a travel agency and then as a communication agency. And then we also assisted the professors involved to draft the final report of the project, from the financial point of view, also revising the implemented activities and the handbook, which was the main outcome of the project. And I think this is more or less, this is it from my side, from UCAM's side. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any question or you want to discuss anything, just feel free to intervene.
How many administrative staff have you on this?
Okay, so the administrative staff, it's just me, but as I said before, I'm doing the same work the others are doing. So it means that also the project managers are administrative staff. It's just that what I'm doing is supporting them. Since it's quite a lot of work, we are trying to divide it in this way. And it's also a way to make sure that everyone in the office, like each of us, knows everything about the projects. So that there is not a person who is not aware, for example, of what is going on with the communication, or what is going on with the budget aspects, or whatever. 5 people, yes. One is...
And Maria is not part of this?
No, because Maria belongs to the International Relation Office. This is the project office, yeah.
Many projects, let's say, any project you have
36.
36.
It's,
The manager, let's say,
is it small? Is it big?
Yeah, more. As far as I can mention,
Actually, the number was 44 before, but in the last few months, we closed 4 or 5 projects, so that's why we are around 36 now. Yeah.
These 5 people in the office from the university or
Can you repeat, please, because it's quite far, so.
these 5 stakeholders in the office, it's a funded from the university itself or from the projects?
No, university itself, yeah. Thank you.
yeah, my somehow suggestion is that at least one people has to be stable and founded from the university for sure. But then when the projects increase, you can also take a part from the project to be co-founded. But a solid basis in the project in international office, you have to have as a purpose of the university. And Delia really showed in the picture very nice. So it's not the financial, let's say, part of the, or let's say, aim of the project. It's not the main one. Okay? It's the development, it's the accreditation process behind. It's the development of the career, of the network. And let's say for the researchers, you can have, let's say, the joint papers. So your career it is developing.
Now, I have two questions in one. You said you have online institutions or universities under your university. Is that even before COVID-19 or? Okay, so this is my first question.
Yes, it was operating already before. Of course, we improved the online tools, but it's not brand new. It was there before already.
So the second question, have you already set up some projects that are related to virtual exchange, so virtual exchange projects, or are all of them directed to education, etc., or capacity building? So are there specialized projects in virtual exchange?
No. No, we don't have specialized projects on virtual exchange, but we have projects on like capacity building, Horizon 2020 Life, Creative Europe. Yes, I think it was in one of the slides. Yeah, these are more or less most of our projects. Our projects are more focused on the research part, okay? So like we involve specifically professors. Like the education projects, it's mostly left to the International Relation Office, which is more in charge of, for example, Erasmus plus mobility for students, these kind of projects.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is usually the division that also others at the beginning, no? The project office is more of the project research and more capacity building and so on. The bigger project is, let's say, the bigger also financial part. So the finance has to be managed, but the Internationalization office, together with the credit mobility, is in charge for all K1 activities.
Yes.
And also sometimes with the K2, the cooperation partnership, because a single project and the cooperation partnership are usually the projects that are connected with the education, either higher education, schools, vet education, or youth, but youth is a separate, let's say, part.
We can also do some research about virtual exchange.
Virtual exchange is, let's say, a quite new initiative. The first was last year. I don't know how many project applies. And this year was the second call for the virtual exchange.
So it's a new area of research.
It's a new area of the course, but Anna has some experience.
Yeah, we applied for one new application under this virtual exchange. But the main point is not virtual exchange. The point is that you need to find a topic that is interesting and can be, let's say, summarized, or all activities can be online. It's the only point. So this is not researching of virtual exchange.
Yeah.
We apply for one application. It's like exchange of the students between South and Europe, the bad speech, the fake news, how to recognize the fake news, stereotypes and something of this. But it's not research of virtual exchange.
Let's say, communication is a tool, it's a
Tool. It is like a mobility. Let's say.
For example, we do the virtual exchange and then we make a research on the results of that virtual exchange, how much it was successful, or how much it was influencing or impacting the students and the institution in general, university.
In the evaluation procedure of all the project, you can always include many aspects, not on the topic, but also on the way of delivery. For example, also this meeting here, some of us are face to face, but some, I don't know how many, I saw Odile, 5 they are online, okay? So let's say we can, one of the questions at the end of this, let's say, small survey is if you were face to face or if you were online, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of the way of delivery or the way of listening.
Or researching how to implement a virtual exchange, etc.
Doctor, we just need to look on this called virtual exchange. It is the same like mobility project. This is just tool how to create, and that's it. It's not the research of virtual exchange. This is like a project of mobility. The same but in virtual environment. After?
I don't know, I don't think that I need the mic.
Because of that, yeah.
Okay, I just want to share some thoughts and experiences from 3 universities. 2 from Egypt and 1 from Italy. University of Alexandria with around 300,000 students and around 15,000 staff members. The University of Heliopolis, which is less than 3,000 students and around 200 staff members, and the University of Bologna in Italy. I think we don't have a model answer for the structure of the International Relation Office or Project Management Unit of the Office of Sponsored Projects or whatever. It depends on the vision of the university that I mentioned and the capacity of the university and their strategic plan for the short term and long term. For instance, University of Heliopolis University, where I joined it 5 months ago. We are managing around 35 projects funded from the EU, either Horizon Europe, Horizon 2020, Prima, Erasmus, and we have GIZ project, we have USAID projects, and another from funding bodies. We have an office of sponsored project. It is not well established yet. We are trying to establish it. In this case, we can do what Anna wants, one responsible person for the project. We can do that. But for instance, in Alexandria University, when you have more than 150 projects, and they are run by the academic staff from around 23 faculties, so the role of the project management unit, where I was the deputy director, just to for the signing the agreements, for the signing the contracts, not following the implementation of the project. Okay, but in Heliopolis University, we are following the implementation of the project. The structure depends on the dimension of the university. For instance, one of the most amazing structure of the project management unit or project office or international relation office is the one of University of Bologna. They have articulated model, they have a mobility office, they have general agreement international partnership office, they have EU project support office, they have international student recruitment and admission office. They have geographic area manager. They have a huge amount of partnerships, mobility agreements. So they have officers for each geographical area. They have a financial advisor, communication advisor. They are around 50 people working on the project management or international office. So to conclude, I just want to say that we don't have a model answer. It depends on the dimension and different and the level of the management. By the way, some institutions, some universities have a rector, or vice rector for the projects and international relations. Okay, some other universities, the projects are following the vice rector for education if it is the vision of the university. Some other the vice rector for research. So I think it depends. We don't have a model, and I think the model should be tailored according to the university strategies. Thank you.
For me, it was very funny sometimes with the need, for example, for University of West, to send to Salim, who is the vice rector of the university, and to ask him who will come and study visit this college. It is funny. Imagine my president, that someone sent him yesterday the mail, who is coming in Italy, how is Anna arriving in you know, this is the just thing. Okay, the manager, the vice rector can be the one who is responsible. But can you give just one contact that I can call it very in the evening, the same as I can call Nada, and say, who is coming tomorrow to Napoli, you know? We need to do that on the project. We need to send one request for payment. This is the only project where I'm asking all the time, please send the request for payment. Stupid thing. We need someone that needs daily contracts. Daily contracts, but
If I can add something about what we just said. And also I want to say that I agree with what Nada said before, that maybe sometimes it's better to start with small projects and just start, just getting into the world of European projects. And from my point of view, like all the separation of offices, all the specialization of the members of the team, it's something that comes later. Like at the beginning, it's also possible that a person is in charge of all the aspects of a small project, because it's also a way to get a general view of the European projects, a general knowledge, and then you can decide how to structure your office of your institution, of your university. But at the beginning, maybe it's also useful to go for just a K-Action 1 project, get the experience, and then decide what is better for you to, how is better for you to structure the office, the team.
Thanks. Can you hear me? Okay. I agree with you, Ahmed, about the idea about every institution figuring out ways, but one thing I think is really important is like information sharing and consolidation. Because I think with Ahwain, if I can share, I don't feel, Kareem, that at Ahwain it's really clear how many projects there are, and one organization, the OIP, I can say we've been struggling to consolidate just the information. How many projects, domestic, international, does AUI have going on for research or mobility or for whatever? And I'm working on it. I think you have probably the best idea amongst the colleagues, but there's you and Khalid and Violetta and various people. And then we still have the issue of certain, faculty go and get a project, whatever. So my question to you, Delia, was like, the history of your unit. At what point did the need become clear to have that unit? And then how did the unit get its communication internally going so that you were known to the other units that if you're going to do a project, we're here to help, or you need to go through us just to at least get our information clear so that you can produce statistics like you have here. We have 36 projects and so on. If you ask me, or maybe Kareem, I don't know if you know, but if you ask somebody at AUI right now, how many projects are there exactly? I think it would be hard to produce the number that we have right now, active ones. And then that's not even talking about the history. Would you agree, Kareem? It's a little bit hard. So I just want to ask you, how did the history go and how is the communication now? Do you still have the issue of somebody applying for a project kind of on their own randomly and you have to rein them in, that kind of thing?
Okay, so no, it's not possible that someone apply for a project without letting us know, because it's like we are the filter they should go through before applying. And about the communication, I don't know if you mean the internal communication or the communication with the other departments, because of course it's been a development process from both sides, in the sense that of course at the very beginning I think that it was something new even for the entire institution, so they had to decide protocols to set way of doing process and all the aspects of a project, and they did that with meetings with the head of unit of each department, and they are still doing that, because I am witnessing periodical meetings to coordinate all the departments of the university. And then from an internal point of view, this is my very personal opinion. I can tell you that something that I find very useful is the thing that, for example, we are working in one room. Like we don't have, each member doesn't have their own office. Like we are in the same room and we are communicating every time. If we have any doubt on any aspect of the project, we just speak out, ask our colleague, and everyone is always ready to help and to give the information. Also, it's very useful to work, for example, with Google Drive documents, which are shared among the members of the team. So we have access to also financial documents, administrative documents, and then there are people like members of the staff, which are of course specialized on some aspects. Like for example, David is the financial officer, so I know that, for example, if I have any doubt about something that is related to budget, I ask him, even if I can just access the document, but I can ask him, and this is usually the way I prefer working, because I prefer the contact with my colleagues, and this is more or less how we are working.
And one more answer to your first question. It was possible that someone made a proposal without knowing the university. This is not possible anymore, because the contact person and the main person needs to be the legal representative. Any proposal, we have an issue with Karim. It's not issue, but let's say it's different. But the European Commission is requesting now that the main contact person needs to be legal representative. Why? Because they are receiving the mail and the mandate letter is not existing anymore. So when they receive the mail, I don't know, Emory University submit a proposal under this name, blah, blah, blah. You are the part of this proposal. And every legal representative can say that reject.
Yeah. In some of the projects, the calls, each institution can be a contractor only once, okay? Only in one project. You can submit two. And if you have a legal entity with 300,000 students, okay? Or you have the legal entity with 3,000 students, it's a huge difference. But the Alexandria University can be contracted, can be coordinating of only one capacity building per year on the call, and you also on only one. So this is, let's say, the fact. So it's very important how the consortium are composed then. And it's true, there is no single model that to be transferred to each institution. But also one single model, it's not forever in each institution, because you are developing, and if you have more project, different type of the project, you need different size of the project office and different skills of the people. Let's say if you are dealing more with the research project like Horizon, you need the type of the people that Delia also mentioned. He's a professor, but he's administrative. Okay? So this is important, no? But now in our project, because the capacity building Intermediate project, the study visit that I mentioned at the beginning, are really the purpose to at least establish in each institution the minimum support of the project office. And this minimum support is mainly done at the beginning from the administrative staff. So that was the reason that we also suggested to all the project coordinators where we have the contact, the right contact, send to the study visit the persons who are working in the offices, which are dealing either with the international relation, with the K107, or with the project, let's say, management, at least the simple projects.
Okay. I have one question on the involvement of teachers throughout the project. In France, at least, there is a clear separation between the teaching staff, academic staff, and administrative staff, which are totally two separate bodies. And teachers are very used to research projects. Horizon 2020, everybody knows about it and applies many times on research projects because they know they will get the money, they can be paid on it, they will have equipment for the laboratories. But nobody knows about Erasmus Plus projects within the teaching staff, I mean. And so we are facing a real problem on communicating towards the teaching staff and the research staff on what could be the interest for them to get involved in these projects and apply for it, give ideas and take in charge really a project. And I would like to know how your universities do that, how they knew that your services were existing and how you can help them. And maybe how you manage the finances, how the staff costs, for instance, are managed within your universities, and are they distributed to the teachers that are effectively working on it, or is it kept in the International Relations Office, for instance? Because this is a real problem we're facing and we still don't know how to do. I don't know who could answer?
Not for the professors, okay, because they want to deal with the research, but it's more for the young teachers, okay, for the young teachers and also for the administrative staff. Can work and then let's say it can have a part of the salary of the project. But this is also differs from the country to country how this is organized.
In Slovenia, it is possible to
In Slovenia,
pay a
it's
part
possible,
of
let's say,
the
the
teachers.
teacher combines the employment 60% on the teaching and 40% on the project. Okay.
Actually, some of them they are very resistant and they feel that this is an extra burden. So they want to be
Very committed.
yeah. So they're not interested.
That's why. But that's why they want.
And we motivate them, we appreciate the
As a public university, even if you don't receive, let's say, a huge salary, you receive the whole salary. So it's not interest from the management of the university to do something more. So it's a burden, okay? And those who are working, if they are not have less hours of teaching or receive something, let's say, additional, okay? And that it doesn't mean everything that is salary, okay? Maybe you are going abroad and you can say, okay, you can spend 1 day more. Okay, so project is say 3+2, or you can spend 1 day more. This could be very more sometimes, no?
In our case, to answer Elodie's question, in our case, to answer Elodie's question, we have two parts to fulfill this exchange. We have, first of all, the Vice Rector for Internationalization. He would bring us offers or exchange programs from the French embassy in Lebanon, because mainly we deal with European countries, and he would diffuse this information to all the community. Let's say we have a project that targets academic members. He would diffuse this information to all the academic members or the instructors at the university, and whoever is interested to apply, he has the full freedom or she has the full freedom to apply and to take part of this project. If we have a program that is targeted to the administrative member, same thing. He would diffuse it to all the administrative members in our 3 campuses in Lebanon, and whoever is interested would apply to it. For example, I took part in another Erasmus Plus project 2 years ago, where the information was diffused to us. Whoever is interested would present a proposal and submit the objectives and what they want to target in the other university and what added value we would bring to our university back in Lebanon. We would have a jury who would study these proposals and they would select who would take part of this project. We also have a second way to take part of these exchanges. Let's say we have a faculty that has collaboration with another university in another country. For example, the Faculty of Sports Sciences in our university has 3 partnerships with 3 French universities. So what we would do is that we would always be in contact and check if we have any opportunities to their university to give a part of the course, not the whole course, for example 3 or 4 weeks. And we have instructors who would come to our university. For example, last week we had a scientific day with the Université Franche-Comté in France, where we had several specialists from the adapted physical activity specialization exchanging their knowledge and their know-hows with our students and our instructors, and vice versa. So we had a full day of that. We have several instructors from the engineering faculty who would travel to France as well and give courses for 3 or 4 weeks, and instructors coming to our university. So in our university, Antonin University in Lebanon, we have a lot of exchange programs going on. We receive a lot of opportunities weekly from the Vice Rectorate, weekly opportunities for research, for exchange programs, for mobility programs, for providing or giving courses in other universities. So this is how we deal with it. We're fine with the exchange. We're international.
Regarding the Erasmus Plus project, you are totally right. The academic staff, they don't know about the Erasmus Plus. They thought that it is a program for for travel, and that's it. But by the way, I'm academics. I'm associate professor, but now I'm in a managerial position. We had before 2018, we had in Alexandria University. Again, I'm from Heliopolis University, but from 5 months, so I don't have a big experience yet in Heliopolis University. But in Alexandria University, before 2017, it was only three Erasmus Plus projects as partners. Okay. After that, we started to develop the capacity of the academic staff to inform them that they can develop degrees, the master degrees, diplomas, modules, etc., using the Erasmus Plus. It is not about only the administrative issues. We developed some information sessions in each of the faculties of the university in order to inform the academic staff about the goals and the programs. We developed some information sessions and training workshops to develop how to develop the logical framework matrix, how to put the budget, and from 2018, 19, 20, Alexandria University started to be the first among the Egyptian universities with 14 Erasmus Plus projects, and one of them as a coordinator. Okay, so I think it depends on the role of the project management unit or the office of projects. This is one of the mandates. I think, in my point of view, of its mandate. That's it.
15 minutes. Okay. The second part of this session will be shorter because you just divided.
I want to thank also the participants online, the 5 participants online. Thank you so much.
Prova. Prova.
لا هو مقيد في المقام ولكن ما اشتغلش معاه. لا مش مقدم فضومه، ده نصار. وليد سيد علي اسماعيل علي. سيد علي من الجيزه. واتمسك النيابه ذكر الخاسرين ده من زمان. لا ده حبيب زي الاستاذ اشرف. فانت لو جات في طريقك افتكرت الاسم اوكي. لا هو نصب على ناس وخد، ما خدوا اجراء، هو مش يعرف هرب. لا يعني ما تعرفش هو انا عامه بقول لك يعني لو جات تقدر. لا بس هم ما اشتغلوش.
ايوه الله صلاح.
ممكن ايه.
انا صلاح.
ممكن عشان ترتيب الحرف الانجليزي.
ماشي سلام.
صباح الفل ماشي صباح الفل سعداء بس.
واضح اتهرب من الموضوع.
لا هو مش يعني معمول لك حاجه اسال لك من هو وليد معاك لانه هيكون في النقابه عشان الحرف الواو ممكن يعرف فوق تحت يمين شمال كده.
ما قلنا مش هيتعرف.
لا شوف انا بس